Hello everybody, my name is Lori. Today I'm going to be talking about how I did with my budget for the month of March. And just right off the bat I'm going to say it went really well. So I budgeted $14,728.37. This was because I received my bonus from work. Normally it is nowhere near that much. So for TV and internet, I budgeted $231.27. That's because I switched providers. I went from Spectrum to Google-Fi, so I had a month there where I had two expenses, and going forward is going to be about $82 or $83 a month. So for my water bill, I budgeted $60 and I spent $60. For my electric bill, budgeted $125 and it ended up being $122. For my natural gas, I budgeted $157.08 and it was $157.08. For my cell phone, I budgeted $31.26 and it ended up being $31.27. So for landscaping, I budgeted $145, but they did not come, so it was $0. And for my HVAC, monthly fee is $21.44, and that's how much it was. So my total was $771.05, and I ended up being $623.06. For planned variable expenses, for regular savings, I budgeted $400, and I put $267.38. For my secondary savings, I budgeted $225 and I only put $25. And the reason for these is because I wanted to put more money towards my debt. So for my SoFi savings, I budgeted $50 and I put in $50. For my, I have a cash card I use for buying gas and other miscellaneous automobile expenses, and I was not going to put anything extra on it, but in the end I decided to go ahead and add $280 to it. For groceries, I budgeted $437 and I actually spent $174.72. And the reason for that is because I actually did grocery shopping the last day of February, and so I really didn't need that much. For eating out and snacks, I budgeted $100 and I only spent $52. For coffee, I budgeted $30.50, but when I went to the store, they didn't have the brand that I normally get. Normally I get the Great Value brand of K-Cups, and they're pretty much the cheapest ones you can get. But they did not have any, so I ended up getting a different brand, and it was $35.86. And I did not get as many either. Usually there's 100 K-Cups in the Great Value box, and there's only, I think, 25 or something. It was ridiculous. Anyway, I'll just move on. Let's see here. Household supplies. I budgeted $50, spent $27.94. For personal, I budgeted $25 and I spent $28.89. For for total budget $1,452.50, and I spent $1,013.14. Okay, for my debt payments, for my mortgage, the budget was $2138.34, and that's how much I spent. My 401k loan comes out of my paycheck automatically. My car payment was $534.86. My home improvement loans, I budgeted $357.20, and that's how much I spent. In my second home improvement loan, I budgeted $343.52 and I sent $351.66. For my Lowe's, if you recall, during my previous last month's video, for my budgeting video. I was thinking about putting $6,000 towards it with my bonus and tax refund, but in the end I decided to not do that. I did put extra towards it. Normally I send just under $500, and so this month I sent $1,087.06. For my Fidelity credit card, I budgeted $436.46, and that's what I sent. For my Chase credit card, I budgeted $1,000 and I sent $3,100. And for my hot water heater, originally I was not going to pay it off because I was going to put the money towards the Fidelity, but in the end I decided to go ahead and pay it off, and the balance that I owed on it was $3,878.75, and that's what I paid. And so my total debt payments budgeted was $9,776.19, and I actually sent $11,884.33. Once again, that's because of my tax refund and my bonus from my employer. So also I was able to pay for my annual expense of my umbrella policy was $162, and my car insurance was $466.94, and that's actually down a little bit. Last time it was $512, so that's came down a little bit. So for my annual expenses was budgeted $628.94, and that's how much I spent. So for emergencies, thankfully there were no emergencies, but I will say that my sister asked me to come and stay with our mom for a week so that she could work. My sister was working basically 6 or 7 days a week, 12-hour days, and she didn't want to leave mom completely by herself. And it was for several weeks. It's actually for 3 months. She's going to be doing that, and she asked if I would come, and it broke my heart, but I just couldn't do it. I just did not want to spend the money to go out there. It's just it's heartbreaking, but and I actually knew, I kind of figured that she would be asking me to do that. And so I had to kind of prep myself to tell her that I just couldn't do it. So for like a long range type of plan, I do want to go out there. It's just that it costs so much money. And it almost always happens where I would, just this very thing, I would get my bonus, my tax refund, and I would have money, and something always comes up whenever I have extra money. And I almost always, in fact I always use that money to pay down debt. I have for as long as I can remember. And it just seems like every year after I've paid off some massive amount of debt, there's some kind of emergency or other unexpected expense. And so I was fully expecting to hear from my sister, and it's in my blood, and it's in my heart, and it's in my mind to just get on the plane and go. It is just how I am, and it broke my heart to tell her I just couldn't do it. Now I will say that she did offer to help pay for the airline ticket and everything, but you know, she's already basically supporting our mom, and I'm not a big fan of that, of her paying for my airline tickets. So anyway, I didn't go, but it's heart-wrenching. It's because of my own bad financial decisions that puts me in a situation where I can't just hop on a plane and go out there. And I am praying and hoping that someday I'll be able to do that legitimately and not have it be a financial hardship on me to be able to do that. So anyway. So next up, I gave myself an allowance of $300 because I knew I was getting my bonus, but in the end I only spent $119.88 for the, if y'all remember from a month ago, I bought a battery charger. I planned 200, ended up spending 110. Actually, that day when I went to the store, I also bought a dash cam, and I ended up taking it back. So I budgeted $25 for sales tax because when we go to Walmart, usually I buy things from different categories, and it's just easier just to put sales tax in its own category. But this month I did not have to do that because I didn't really do much shopping. So for donations, I put down $200, and I ended up donating $202.98. One item was for my nephew's daycare was having a fundraiser. So they were selling popcorn, and in order to support my nephew, actually what I kind of wanted to do was just send him the money, but I felt like that was inappropriate to send money like that. Felt like it was disrespectful, so I didn't do it. I bought the popcorn, and it was like $82.98. And this month my son was in a parade, and while I was there, he was in the parade, and I was just, there on the street. I met a homeless person, and she told me her story, and so I gave her $20. I wish I could have given her more, but that's something, a discussion or a talk that maybe we can have someday in the future. We don't know people's stories. We don't know what they've gone through in their life to put them in situations that they're in. But anyway, it's just worth mentioning, I feel. And then the other $100, honestly, that $100 was kind of stolen from me, and I had to just forgive that person, and I just trusted God that that person who took the money just basically must have needed it more than I did, and I put them in God's hands. Basically, I forgave them, forgave myself for allowing myself to get money stolen from me, and I just call it a donation. So for office supplies, I finally bought my ink. My printer's been telling me I've been low on ink for like 2 months. And I finally bought it, but it was a lot more expensive than I remember it being the last time I bought it. I thought I would swear the last time I bought it was $65, and it was, with tax, it was $78.29. I was stunned. I couldn't believe it. So for shipping, I have yet to finish my brother's quilts, and I've been really focused on my budget and paying off debt, and it's just, I have not really had the brain space to devote to sewing. So I did finish the top of one of the quilts, and so maybe I'll put a picture of it up. But I need to quilt it and get it shipped off, and I don't think it's going to be in April because I'm working quite a bit of overtime in April. So I don't know if I'll have time to sew or not. So for prescription refills, I actually, I knew I was going to get a refill, but I thought it was going to be in April. So I didn't put anything in the budget for it. It ended up only being $2.48 anyway, so that's alright. And for healthcare, I didn't budget anything for that, but there at the last minute, I had a little bit of a health event, I guess you could say, and so I spent some money at the pharmacy on, you know, over-the-counter medicines. So, and for the buffer, I gave myself $1,217, and I put all of it basically towards debt, and I have $2.26 to basically roll over. So for extra things, the total was $2,099.69, and I spent $578.90. So for my total expenses for the month, I budgeted $14,728.37, and that's how much I spent. So that is basically it for the month of March. And I seem to have misplaced my bar chart. Okay, well then never mind. Never mind about that. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you for watching my videos. And I hope y'all are having a good day. And I hope that everything is just basically going well for everybody. And I guess that's it. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.